I couldn't believe what I witnessed. I'm not even going to go into that, but it's like the only way we can really say no to a massive cultural shift that's coming from the top is men like you and I and women in the community that care about their families saying like, no, not for our kids, not for our community, not for our state, and then not for our country. But it has to come from the ground up. So I know there's always that sense of, we have this weird feeling like to be good people, you have to support other people in whatever they do. As I'm getting older, I just disagree with that.
Yeah,
Because
and even as a parent, like it's like tough love. Like I may not be right about everything, but the things that I feel strongly about, I'm like, I know that tough love has a place because I've seen it with my kids. Like I've seen my son when I try to, there's soft parenting or gentle parenting now, which is some people say you should never say no to your kid. And I'm like, my son, I love him and he's brilliant for 3 years old. He can talk and he's incredibly intelligent. But he's still a moron because he's 3. He's only had 3 years to live on this earth. And some of the things he does baffles me. And I'm like, oh, he's new to life. And he doesn't know how to execute. And, like, I have to give him tough love.
And you are the role of protector.
Yeah.
Your job is to protect your child and build them up correctly.
Yeah.
Not let them do whatever they want. They don't know what they want. They only know from a 3-year-old perspective of what they want.
Yeah.
They're not a 30-year-old person looking back and reflecting about like, man, I can't believe I had no structure in my life. I can't believe I never learned right from wrong really because my father never brought his hand down. I can't believe that I was so misguided and spoiled and entitled and didn't understand the word no. It destroyed my life. I grew up to be an adult that had no sense of reality at all. The first time I was rejected by a boss or a girl, my whole world shut down. I went into deep depression. I fell into drugs because I had never experienced being told no growing up. Your job is to protect him for the long run, not the short term. He might be a little upset if you tell him, no, do not do that again.
Yeah, he always sees, Dad.
It's a learning lesson, man.
Yeah.
Did your father ever do that to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think to the stark opposite end, it was almost no kind of walking through scenarios. It was very heavy-handed with spanking. We always joke, I guess, of like me being spanked more than all the other kids. So I never learned to question anything. So it went the other way. Like he would always say like, say yes, sir. And I was like, yes, sir, And after a while, I just responded that way. I stopped questioning him. And then when I started becoming an adult, I had severe anxiety because I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell my dad what's up. Like, I disagree with him here, here, and here. But then I'd get around him, and it's like this, 18, 19 years of just programming of, like, dad's right. Like, he's got an opinion. That one's solid. I say yes, sir, to that. And now I'm finding a good pushback. But for a while, I was like...
And that's becoming your own man. That's really stepping into your power. You have to find a way to fight the father type deal. You have to find the way to say, no. I've got time on this earth now, too, and I've gone through lessons, and I've gone through military service, and I've gone through a lot of things. I have value in my opinion. I have weight. This isn't the 13-year-old kid telling you, Dad, I think blah, 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 which maybe then you should have brought the hammer down, but now you're going to respect me. Yeah. And that's like a good transformation, and what you just said explains a lot about you because you have an extremely strong resistance to authority now. You question a lot of things very deeply now. You're constantly like... It's almost like you had a rubber band effect. You probably lived under a certain way for so long that you naturally had to rebel super hard to find that central, like, healthy psychological state because just Johanan the follower will not bring greatness into the world. You're going to be just the drone that does what you're told in all your situations that, thumb on your head for the rest of your life. How do you really become the man that you're meant to be under those settings? You're not going to. But the crazy rebellion, destroy, anarchy, no authority, no masters type mentality is incredibly destructive too. Yeah. So it's like, in a weird way, and this is true about so many things in life, you almost want to experience the extremes of things, and then you can find the correct place to be on that line. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to a lot of people about, like, listen, for as much as I'm a good man now, and I really, I feel to the deepest parts of my core that I'm a great man, a great human being, someone that loves people, that cares about people, that gives my best to the people around me. You know what? There was many points in my life where I was a fragment of that. There was many points in my life where I did terrible things, where I did things where I hurt people, where I was, like I said, a shadow of the man that I could have been. But in a weird way, it was like incredibly important to me becoming the human being I'm meant to be. Because when you experience the farther reaches of your darkness and of your light, your moral compass comes into play then. And you start to figure out, where do I belong? Where do I want to be on this scale? Like people that you hear motivational speakers talk about all the time, people that are not very dangerous, they like take pride in like, you know, a certain thing. Yeah, because you're not very dangerous. You're not physically confrontational. You're not very powerful.
Jordan Peterson.
You don't have a lot. You don't have a lot of skills. So like, of course, you're staying on this benevolent side. But a lot of the times, resentment and hate and anger and all of these things can grow in people like that. From the boss that screamed in your face for 20 years, for the wife that's ran you into the ground, and you know, for people that have walked all over you. You're a doormat every single day of your life, and then you finally self-destruct and explode because you always were living in this one thing. No, like you want to stretch yourself as a human being, but then that's where it really comes down to knowing who you are, and it being so vital to find yourself on the, you know, you have to make a decision to be a good person in this life. That's what's weird. And like that's the thing that I try to tell a lot of the younger kids that I'm around. You have to make an active choice almost daily to do the right thing.